12 wins. We've done it. 12 wins with 4 more games to go. Welcome, everybody, to the round 19 fan cams after the Blues get the job done. 13 goals, 12.90 to the Giants. 8 goals, 6.54. It was light work. Made it look a little hard, but it was the result that we needed in the end, and that's all that matters. So looking forward to this. It's always good after a win. We're inching closer to our first finals berth in many years. Too long. For those of you who would like to join, whether it's for the first time or for another occasion, here's the link. It's in the comments. If you want to come in, have your say, share with us your thoughts on the game, and we'll go from there. We'll get as many people in as possible. We really can only start one way, and that's with this bloke. Tommy.
Come on, tell you what, how good is it to do to GWS what they did a few years ago? I mean, we made that look very easy in the end. Gave them a little bit of hope at the start of the game, but they came home like a steam train. And tell you what, Voss ball, I'm starting to enjoy a bit of Voss ball. Do you know what I mean? The boys find a way, and this little fella, tell you what, never a doubt best player in the league. Might be the best player in the universe. I might throw in space.
It's good to be here smiling again like we thought we would be. I'll tell you what, mate, going into the game, there's always confidence, but today I was certain not only of the win, I thought it would be a bit more comfortable than what it was. Nonetheless, you've just got to get the wins where you've got to get them towards the end of the year. This is a very important time for the group, starting to get players back, starting to get continuity into those players that are coming back. And I think really we did our work in 10 or 15 minutes today. There was a clear confidence about the group that they were the better side.
There's levels to this. Do you know what I mean? I said it in my preview that their hope of winning this was what they did for large parts of the second. Flood the area, make it scrappy, take away Carlton's space. But as I said in the preview, big thing for Carlton is there's levels to this. We're way out of their league, and it's about sticking to the game plan. Carlton, tell you what, they lost the clearance battle, but 51 points from that source, and that's the one that Carlton needs to really get there. All you fans out there, get excited, because that changes up when you've got someone like Pitternet there, someone who's going to do them second and thirds. And that was really only caused because Carlton had to man up and know that TDK was a bit more loose in there. When Pitter's in there, he throws his body around, and someone like Bruce is going to be negated. But hats off to the boys, do you know what I mean? Disposal dominance again. Big one for Carlton as well, which is excited, is a large part of our points came from forward 50 stoppages, which is where Carlton have been horrific the last 4 weeks. Wasn't textbook at times, but a big hope for me as well is a lot of people are saying, when you play finals, you'll get battered when you play like that. You won't have games like that in finals. Do you know what I mean? You won't have teams set up to negate you scoring. It's one hope, one chance. So teams can't afford to do that for large patches. They have to come out and play. Tell you what, boys will be smiling. I'd imagine Voss will be, because banana skin out of the way, Adelaide next week. Do you know what I mean? And dependent on results, Carlton are already 2 clear of the 8. Next week, 2 basically says game over. Game over.
Spot on. Yeah, absolutely spot on. Obviously, we'd love to win by 100 points every week. I just, more importantly, more than anything, I think Jose Mourinho has the famous quote, winning is not the only thing that matters, but it is certainly the most important. And that was evidently what the case was today. There was a little bit of management of the game. We did give the Giants a bit of a sniff. We did make it hard for ourselves at times, just with our execution by foot. But I think, like you said, when you come up against the big teams, we know what our focus levels have been this year when we come up against the better sides. Obviously, it wasn't the case last week, but I think for the most part this year, when we've played in games that have a serious meaning because we're playing against a really good team, there's been a real focus from the group. And I just expect that to get better in this last month.
Mate, and they're working hard. We talked last week about forward 50 tackles. They matched their forward 50 tackles in the first quarter. So that was a huge thing. That's one wonderful thing about Voss. When they have a glaring issue, for some reason, they do come out and fix it very much. And the big one for me, in that fourth quarter, they got more points from scores in turnover than they did against Geelong. And in that game, they got more points in their last two. And that's a huge part there to a certain young man by the name of Mitch McGovern. Do you know what I mean? He adds a flavour. So when we talk about the top four sides, you've got to understand the top four sides are built different, but they have personnel. Carlton have brought that personnel back. And I'll tell you what, this time next week, when you've got Pitto in there with Mitch McGovern, tell you what, judge them when they're in finals. Don't judge them now. At the moment, it's getting there. And the boys have taken one big step. And I sensed it a little bit. I don't know if anyone in the chat felt this. At the start, you felt the players started to feel them nerves that I am worried about. There'll be a nerve when they get close to that final of actually fucking doing it because they've never done it. And we've seen how they've folded when they've had to win to play finals over the last 2 years when it's been a mathematical chance. There's going to be that element, and that's good that they got through it. The sooner they get it done, I think you'll start to see another layer. But, I mean, credit to Voss. Do you know what I mean? Well done. Well done. Let's be honest. Do you know what I mean? When you're going at 60% kicking efficiency, which is a big thing for Voss, he demands that. The game style demands that. They found a way to win, and that'll pay them in good stead. This win is like last week. They'll learn a lot of lessons from this because if they took their chances, Harry kicked half of his set shots, Cripps didn't become Hollywood Cripps, Carlton could have been about 40, 50 ahead and really just fucking cruising. So that's something for them to learn. You've got to take your chances at this level.
Yeah, I think so too. How do you see I was really curious today about the back line, the setup, because moving forward, when they're healthy, it's Wiedering, Young, and McGovern, which allowed, on a side note, someone like Lockie Plowman to get a lot more of the ball and be a bit more offensive. How did you find that?
I like it. And what I do see, I know a lot of the chat were talking about Marchbank. I would not be surprised to see Marchbank come in for Plowman in 2 or 3 weeks' time. I think that's something that Carlton maybe be looking at. Do you know what I mean? Watching how he played in the VFL, in spurts, watching how Plowman played, that offensive role may be something that Carlton look at, because I've got no doubt they started to use Newman as the lockdown. Didn't quite work at times, but Toby Green is a tough customer. And I did hear something round 6. Voss made a statement. The best place to learn a new role and put it to the test is against the best of the best. And he mentioned that about Lewis Young at the time, throwing him really on problem players. I think that might be a sign, because suddenly if Newman does that over Plowman, say Marchbank comes in. Let's not talk about Plowman, though. He was solid today. Do you know what I mean? He was solid, and it allowed Mitch McGovern to do his role, particularly in the first half. Do you know what I mean? In the first half, you saw Plowman peel off his man, take the toll that Mitch is on to allow him to float. Once Mitch gets a bit of rhythm, he had some decent grabs today in vital times. That could be deadly. So, honestly, fuck me. How good is it, man? Where are we now? You know what I mean? Towards the end of the year. 2 points clear. Just fucking cruise control, brother. Cruise control.
We are 2 games clear of the 8th, no matter what happens today with the Collingwood game. We're 8 points clear of the Dogs. We're 2.5 games clear of Richmond, who currently sit 9th. Obviously, St Kilda to play. They're currently, I think they've just started. So there's still a little bit to go. But, mate, it's time to start gearing up for a really, really enjoyable and, I think, new experience for most of us.
God, I was wet behind the ears, didn't have a fucking clue what was going on last time we played finals. Do you know what I mean? I mean, I knew one player, Chris Judd, because I was told about him in the car. Do you know what I mean? That he was pretty good. Do you know what I mean? Like, that was it. So for me, it is super exciting. And, you know, there's little things that I'm starting to notice in game, like from a strategic point of view. TDK now becoming a Max Gorn and floating behind the ball, particularly when JSOS was taking stoppages, which then says to me, Pitternet and TDK are a lot to play together. Because if Pitternet's handling that, that's sexy. Do you know what I mean? Seeing Seeing Josh Honey in tight, 2 handballs, 2 goal assists from them, taking the contact. To see just them little things as well, because you're wanting more. How often have we been on this show together as a fan base in the chat going, oh, fuck, we've lost by 10 goals, but what if Harry kicks straight? What if that? To actually now say, we've just put a side away 15th. And this time last year, we were closer to 15th than 8th.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? We've put them away, and there's still more. There's still more out there. That could have been a better performance. You know what? If I spoke to my mate who works up at Melbourne, he said one team they don't want to play is us and Pies in an eliminator. They'd hate it because they just feel that our game style is naturally all or nothing. And when it comes to finals, nothing is being sent home. Do you know what I mean? You've got no percentage. It's about taking it on. You know what? You see it because that fourth quarter, they'll play like that for 4 quarters. They have to in a final. Seeing Lob dance around, seeing Fisher dance around, seeing Charlie Curnow kick a goal and give it the big fucking biceps to the ground. Imagine this in a final. Tell you what, I heard 30,000 Carlton fans scream. The chat was crazy. We're taking the piss. This is it. This is our time, and fucking enjoy it. Because tell you what, me and Terry have had to pull you guys from death's door after a 100-point loss with 16 players and tell you everything's going to be all right. Aaron Mullet could be a superstar. Do you know what I mean? This is brilliant.
100%. Love you, mate. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon and great job today.
Come on, let's fucking do it, Blues. Carlton on Melbourne. Let's go.
What a guy. All right. Faz.
Hey, Terry. How you going, man?
Mate, good to have you here, my friend.
Yeah. Look, I've always been wanting to get on, and most of the time I ended up running out of time, and it's always over. But it's great to jump on, and I'm just stoked. I'm stoked. Great win. I think the most pleasing aspects for me were the likes of the Setterfield, Plowman, Cottrell, Honey getting on the scoreboard. We know what we're going to get from the Walshes and Wiederings and Docks and Saads, but to see those boys who are probably fighting for their position actually stand up in a game that we really needed it, I think that's the most pleasing aspect.
Yeah, mate, I'm glad you brought him up. Setterfield, just off the bat, 24 touches, 8 marks around the ground, kicked a goal, used the ball at 83%, used the ball well. One of his better games in recent times, really. And it's a good time of the year to find some form. To be honest, I mean, a lot of the talk with our fans, I'm sure you're aware, was, where's Paddy Dow? Why is he getting a game over Setterfield? Well, I think that Setterfield's performance today, and really, if you look at his last month in the VFL, he's been super. So to have him come in, play the role, still played on the wing, still looked really clean and tight. I think it was a bit of a relief for me, just because he's got it. Yeah,
well, look, I think one thing that people don't really mention about Will Setterfield is he's actually a beautiful kick inside 50. Yes, question around his kicking around the ground, which is a bizarre thing to say, but inside 50 is actually a good kick. Go back and watch early games in the season. He was the one who hit up Jack Martin for the goal against Richmond. I mean, he hit up players a couple of times. He's actually a really good kick inside 50. I think a lot of people don't mention that. And I said when he got in the team, he's got an opportunity now to cement his spot and play finals footy. These spots are up for grabs, and to see these boys do it, I think just shows the character as well.
Yeah, spot on. What were the other notable storylines from today you think we'll look ahead from?
Well, Gov getting through was huge. I think we all breathed a sigh of relief. But that second quarter, it was the third quarter, whenever it was, we were just thinking, I thought there was about 4 season-ending injuries in the space of about 10 minutes. But the fact they all played on was great. The talk was, look, again, I think Fisher moving on the ball adds that little something different. And again, Plowman being able to play his more natural role with McGovern in there. I just think we looked really balanced. I think that was the best part. We looked balanced. GWS stacked their back line with height, which I think was a great move by them. If I was coaching against Carlton, that's what I would do. Put a lot of interceptors. So they did really good there. But we adapted, and I think we looked really, really balanced. I really like Cottrell's game as well. Wing, half forward, kicking those goals. It was,
I think if we had have asked the general consensus around Cottrell, I think everyone would have done the knee-jerk reaction. I'm glad we stuck with him because prior to last week, I mean, a lot of them were down last week. Prior to last week, he had really put together a nice patch of form. But I think you're right. I still think there's one wing spot up for grabs most times.
Yeah, 100%. And I think whoever wants it, the boys are going to get their chances. Setterfield got his chance, took it. O'Brien took it again. Now Noons has got to wait to get back in and try and take it. So I think that's brilliant. It's healthy. I actually really liked that change. And again, Honey, he's been given a reprieve. Many people, me included, was a bit surprised by his inclusion. And he got on the scoreboard, tackled well, got disposals. I think he's done himself, no harms in how he played. And that's exciting. It's just looking forward to saying, okay, well, these boys are starting to take their chance. I think they're starting to realise what's on offer here. I think a few of the players are starting to really realise, okay, I want to be a part of this. I really want to get in and be a part of this.
Yeah. Mate, looking ahead, what does it look like for you? What do you want to see?
Look, get the job done next week. Don't care how, don't care what fashion. Go over there, get it, stay healthy, come home. I'm actually really excited the last 3 games. I think going into finals, should we get there, which I think we will, no team is going to be better prepared for finals than us. Brisbane away, Melbourne and Pies at the G, which will both have 80,000 people. Those 3 finals-like games in a row before you play finals, no team is going to be better prepared than us.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. Mate, it's been a pleasure.
Love it. Thanks, mate.
See you, mate. David.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm good, mate. I believe you are posting, you usually post as Equality.
Yeah.
It is a pleasure to have you on Fan Cams because I love your commentary week to week.
Very kind. It's a pleasure to be involved in the whole thing and follow and listen to what you guys do. Because in the US, there's nothing like that. I don't know anybody who knows the game. So it's a lot of fun learning from everybody.
Where are you calling in from?
New York City.
Wow, New York City. And how did you become a Carlton fan?
ESPN in the 80s used to carry it. And I got hooked on it then. Because you got to remember what it was like, what the game was like back then, what the grounds looked like back then, how it was played back then. It was very exotic. So it's like, what the hell is this? And then, are they allowed to jump on each other? And he just punched that guy. Is that allowed? And what's with the guy in the white coat? What is that about? So, I mean, how can you not just really get into the sport? Because there's nothing else like it with the physicality, with the skills involved. 50 guys on the field, it looks like. It's a lot of fun. And, of course, back then, no internet. I had no idea what was going on. I had no idea about the league or the history or anything. I just kind of found myself adopting the Blues after a couple of years. Why? Because there was a unique cast of characters back then. There's nothing else like it with, Duel and McClure and Justin Madden and all those guys. And then David Rees-Jones comes in and Steven Silvani then. So I just found myself adopting the Blues as the team and that's how it works.
Terrific. Well, what did you think of the game today?
Felt like a reset, like things are back, possibly. A couple of returns with McGovern coming back and getting through, as everybody said, but looking like he's going to ready to pick up where he left off, playing hard, very physical. That was nice to see. Remembering not to give up on the play. First option. I mean, sure, it means a lot of handballs, but it was with purpose. People moving ahead of the ball with purpose, consistently, remembering to use the full spread of the ground consistently, shutting down the character after a couple of really terrible moments where Giants are just waltzing down and there's like 5 Blues off to the left, like some sort of escort guard. What's going on there, but they shut that down. So resetting, getting in proper form for the last few games going into finals.
Yeah, no, I think you're spot on. There was a real purpose about getting wide, using the wingers on both sides. I think Setterfield had plenty of opportunities. I think O'Brien had plenty of opportunities. And I think ultimately they are players that need their teammates to look for them. So it's sort of like a two-way street. They've got to work hard to be available, and then they've got to have their teammates trust them.
Well, yes, which also is something new this year that wasn't happening before. Like the wing role didn't really exist except as sort of a link between when they're creeping up the wing for a hopeless bomb into a contest. I mean, that's all it was for. Nobody was filling space. It wasn't considered any sort of defensive area to guard. Certainly, it wasn't anything where people got involved in like, oh, this is an angle that we can use because guys, it wasn't a defined role properly. Guys running without purpose, nobody really knowing where they're supposed to go, filling the ground, filling gaps. That's like really important for, especially on defense. You know, it wasn't happening before, but it is this year now, and it's another one of those things that are like people are transformed under Voss and the whole system.
For sure. What have you made of the year as a whole up until this point? We're just ticked over our 12th, so 12th.
Yeah, well, it's exceeded expectations. You have to say that. And I mean, I'm probably overly optimistic, which is to a fault, but there's a lot more stuff where you're saying, okay, I can see several guys have been like transformed, completely different players, and there's a system to fall back on. There's sort of an understanding of what they're doing. Guys are running like, look at Cottrell. There's an example right there. Last year, he wouldn't have thought to like run ahead of the ball, and you know, he's looking back for the pass coming down when he's heading to the goal square, but he knew that was going to happen. Not like, oh, I'm running. What do I do? What do I do? And then when he gets the ball, he knows what he's looking for. He knows where to look instead of waiting for somebody to tell him what to do. That wasn't happening before. And you can think of a bunch of guys where suddenly, even though they're in the same position more or less, their role is different. The way they move is different. I mean, you talk about Fisher. I mean, you've seen that the whole season. And Lockie O'Brien, I mean, yeah, he sucks in a one-on-one, but otherwise he's filling gaps, he's doing pressure, he knows where he's supposed to be and when, doesn't always get there. Plowman is another one now, playing intelligently, more aggressive, but also, I mean, when he looks bad, it's usually because he's the only guy back having to defend against two guys getting loose, and you can't do anything about that. But otherwise, I mean, what was he, like 100% disposal efficiency with 18 touches today?
Yeah, from his
When
18.
does that happen? That wasn't happening before. So there's a whole series of things where, okay, yeah, the record is better, and I'm expecting 14-8, you know, the opposite, the reverse of last year. But you can see that there's things happening that weren't happening before, no matter what the record is. So 500 would have been great. One game over 500 would have been very exceptional and a successful season. But you can see there are more things happening from an individual level as well as a team unit, which, you know, again, that wasn't happening either. Last year, every game, Matt Kennedy looked angry. Even when they were winning, he looked angry all the time. Now he looks happy. You didn't see that. So it's just these little things where elements are being put into place. Players have been changed completely the way they approach the game. It's not consistent because they're still learning. That's another thing you guys have talked about. They don't know how to win. They got to learn that. They got to learn how to play with the lead, which is also
expectations, lead. And then when I think when the pressure of finals comes around and you're playing in serious matches and it's do or die, you know, we've just got to get those types of experiences into these boys as soon as we possibly can.
Yeah, so hopefully be in good form going in, things consistent, everybody back healthy, people having confidence in each other. Just remembering, I mean, this is what Voss talks about, sticking with it more often for longer. That happened. It's not consistent, but they know they need to do that now. But that was the other thing that they never had before. They didn't know. How many times did you see guys going out there not knowing what they're supposed to do or arguing about what they're supposed to do?
No, it's true. It's true. Well, David, mate, it's been a pleasure. I'm glad you jumped on. I really do appreciate you sharing your thoughts, and we'll see you in the comments for sure.
Yeah, all right. Thanks for having me.
See you, mate. What a pleasant surprise. Love it. Nathan with the 5 says, Sam Walsh isn't human. What a time to be alive, baggers. I tell you what, for 10 minutes there, I was not happy. I was broken. We might talk about that with our next guest. Ugo with the $80 donation sends a super sticker. Thanks very much, my man. I really appreciate it. Let's see who we've got next. Beachy.
You want to talk about Walsh being down in that 10-minute period? The head was down, mate. I can tell you that right now. And then when I saw Wettering go down, I thought, yeah, can I just look for a hole? Because I don't see how we were going to come out of that. Fortunately, we did.
Tell you what, it was instantly my heart sank. I saw Walsh go down. I actually saw the unnatural sort of bend in his ankle, and then I saw the replay on the screen, and I thought, oh my God, please don't be broken. And then sort of just accepting the fact that he was done for the season as he's being carried off, and I'm thinking, is this really happening now? But you know, the funny part was when he came back on the field, it gave us a complete spark. I think we kicked a goal pretty quickly.
Yeah, it did. And, you know, when Wettering went down, that I must admit that actually happened in front of us. Like, that happened where I was sitting. And I'm thinking, oh, God, don't tell me now. Like, because it was hard enough for us to even get our defense right without him. But, you know, look, he actually played on, then went off for a bit, and I thought, all right. Heart and mouth stuff for about 5 minutes. He then came back, and the loudest roar was for both Walsh and Wettering to come back on in that 10-minute period. And as you said, we kicked a goal out of that, and then we might have kicked maybe another goal after that, and then, yeah, everything just happened.
Yeah. Mate, 12 wins. Got to be happy with that.
Oh, 100%. 12-6, 4 to go. We've got Adelaide next week, and I'm actually flying over for that. So I'm kind of hoping we can make that 13. Then we've got probably the toughest 3 weeks we've got to come up. In Brisbane, up there, these at the G and Magpies at the G, who are a point behind against the Bombers as we speak.
I can't believe we're sitting here barracking for Essendon. Can't believe it.
Desperate times call for desperate measures, Terry, I'm afraid.
Mate, 4 weeks to go. What's the key for us now, in your eyes?
Well, we'll start with next week. Let's head over to Adelaide, get the win there, knock them off for twice for the season, because we've now knocked GWS off twice for the season. So knock off Adelaide twice. Then come back home, get ready for Brisbane, because, you know, they could be missing some players still. But, you know, as I say that, touch wood, because they still managed to find some ways to win at home. And then we worry about the Premiers and Magpies when we come to it.
I look forward to it, mate. It's going to be a very exciting month. There seemed to be a bit of a peacefulness today and just get the job done type attitude today. I think from here on in, the games that we play are going to be serious challenges. Adelaide are tougher at home than what they are away. They definitely will bring it to us next week. But, you know, hopefully we get Pitto back. Hopefully Hewitt's good to go. And then we just need some continuity. And then Beachy, mate, we're on the way to September.
Exactly. Now, you know, I was at the VFL last night and Pitto managed to get through okay. 26 hit-outs, had a shot on goal and missed. But, you know, he got through unscathed. I would expect Hewitt to come back, but it is soreness. So, you know, that's an unpredictable thing. So emphasis on the word expect, doesn't always quite happen. But, yeah, get Pitto and Hewitt back for next week. That should tick off win 13. Again, emphasis on should. But then we'll worry about Brisbane, Melbourne, and Collingwood straight after that.
Yep. Well said. Beachy, enjoy the rest of your afternoon, mate.
Thank you, Terry. See you later.
Paul.
Hey, Tez. How you doing, buddy?
I'm good, brother. How are you?
I'm well. I'm well. Winning is it's a habit, it's a culture, and it's one that I'm enjoying greatly.
It's been a really good year, hasn't it? It's what are we now? 12-6. We've won 2/3 of the matches that we've played this year. Looks like we're going to be there at the end of the year, which is, I think I still think 12 will get you in, maybe 13 just to absolutely guarantee it. But yeah, what'd you make of today?
Yeah, it was interesting. I reckon a few things. Walsh is elite. He is unbelievable. That roar when he came back on, he lifted the boys.
Yep.
It lifted everyone in that stadium. It was unreal. I reckon McGovern was super solid. He's only going to get better from here. Always just takes the right option. I thought Lob, that's why he's there. His kicking into 50 was fantastic. Same with setters. But I reckon we could probably pressure a bit better within the 50. The smalls probably didn't have their best day, but kudos to Corey for sticking fat. Got the reward at the end, and that was pretty sweet.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think I'm not sure what the stats were, but I feel like in the first half we probably didn't get. It just seemed that way. I haven't looked at the numbers, but we didn't seem to get what we have been getting consistently from those smalls in the first half. And then I think as the game finished up, we probably got what we needed from them. But look, they're going to be inconsistent. There's 3 of them there. They're pretty young, the 3 of them. Today was Honey's day. It looked like he probably got more on the end of it, a little bit more than the other 2. Do you think we'll play the 3 of them, come finals time? Or do you think we'll play just one of them or 2 of them?
Great question, Tez. I reckon, listening to Pommy, I'm really interested to hear sort of a return question to you is Pitto's in. So then you think you're going to play Tom and Pitto. Does one of those smalls make weight to make sure we've got them there? So then it sort of answers that question that we have the 3 talls up forward. I'm not sure. It's hard to say at the moment because you need the speed, but undoubtedly you can just see it. Even watching Eston this afternoon, every team is playing with these 2 rucks, and it really makes a difference. I think it will depend because you've got Owies to throw in there too, and he's probably your best forward tackler. So it'll be interesting to see because you can't dispute the fact that Pitto being in there. Paulo and Pommy had some great comments about how he really blocks for Cripps, and today even it's still sort of just a bit fumbly. Doesn't seem to have that time and space that he normally does. So I think that's critical, and maybe that is going to be the consequence or the answer to those questions about how many smalls we play.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. I think the Jack Martin situation is also an interesting one because I just feel like a senior player like that, you're going to need him come finals time. But, mate, we'll see how it goes.
Absolutely, Taz. Love what you do. Love the community. It's awesome.
Appreciate it, mate. Have a good one.
Have a good one.
Zach.
Hey, Terry. How are you?
Fantastic.
Same as me. Okay. That's an unbelievable win by the boys to answer back. That was very good. But I want to point out a few things.
Yes.
Great to get the win. The first thing is Walsh is an absolute unit. To get back on after that ankle roll, that was very, very tough from him, and to lift after that was amazing. So it's very great to see him to get back out there because I wasn't too worried. I knew he was going to be back on because it wasn't like too severe. He was like walking. So because if he had broke it, then he wouldn't have walked. So yeah, how did you see it from your perspective?
The Walsh injury?
Yeah.
I was petrified. I thought for the worst because he tried to stand up one time and then he went back down onto his and sat down. And I thought, oh no, he can't put weight on it. And that's generally what you look for with these injuries. But then when he ran off, it was very positive. And then I was thinking, all right, maybe he's just maybe he'll miss 2-3 weeks, maybe 4. I was just thinking of what it could be. And I think you're right, Zach. When he came on and he ran onto that field, it was a spark for the crowd.
Yeah, just a few things. I'm actually really a bit happy on Plowman. He was actually pretty good today. The way he was switched on, he was really good, and it was just great to see him play. Charlie and Harry, outstanding like usual, and it was just great to see the boys just do their thing, and hopefully we can get Marchbank, Pitto back next week. What did you like? Who was your standout players for today?
I think there's a bloke we haven't mentioned yet in 34 minutes, and his name's Adam Saad. I thought he was maybe our best player today. He was absolutely sensational. He took one of the marks of the year. There's been a lot of them. But yeah, no, I thought he was solid. I love Zach Fisher's game as well. I thought he really helped out behind the ball, just to clean up. And we did enough. We did what we needed to do. Obviously, would have loved to win by a little bit more, but at the end of the day, 4 points is the most important thing. And got to get one more win under the belt, then we can stop stressing about whether or not we're going to make it. I'm still confident we're going to make it. And Zach, mate, 12 wins. Have you seen 12
come
wins?
on. Never. But just a few things before I go. Hopefully we can get March back next week because he made a very speedy recovery. Great to get the win after that loss. Thanks. Well, Pommy, unbelievable on the fan cams. Always gets on. He's very energetic. And just want to say one thing. Bring on September!
Bring it on.
Come on, boys!
Go Blues. Andrew.
He's a star, isn't he?
Isn't he? Aren't they all?
Fantastic. Love it. Love his energy. I wanted to talk about Adam Saad, eh? Mate, his game was so good. He's so dependable. He really is. I don't know about you, but I really get a Chris Judd vibe off his style. Hey, I know he's Juddy was a midfielder, but very, very. He looks very similar to me. He's just so assured. He's so determined in the way he moves forward, and he just knows what he needs to do to get the job done, and he just goes to get it done. And yeah, I thought he was excellent.
His reputation sort of in his career as being, the speedy guy with ball in hand. I think this year, one of the biggest differences I've noticed with him is his closing speed. He doesn't seem to miss on any contest that he wants to chase after.
Exactly. Yeah, that's exactly right. And yeah, he is a determined player, and you can see his will to win is there every game. Every game. And it's really refreshing to see.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't played a final with this group yet, but when we do, he's definitely a guy I'm not going to worry about when the pressure comes.
No, and same with Corey Durden. I think his growth is this season has been phenomenal. Yeah, I think he's done very well.
What does it look like moving ahead? I mean, is it something we shouldn't look too far ahead? I saw McGovern today. He looked solid, and you can just tell that he's going to be better for the run. He only played 70% game time. I was happy
to see him inside again. I've got a thing for McGovern. I've got a soft spot for him. I think he's copped it pretty tough, in years gone by. But again, when he's fit, he's a dependable player and someone that we can rely on. So just pray that he stays injury free.
Well, the other thing with him is it's now his third game in this new role because he obviously played 2, got injured, and we haven't seen him since. So not only is he back playing footy, but he's back playing in a role that we still need to get some continuity in because he's new to it. That's the reality.
Yeah. And I think it's actually an interesting point too, because I think with the past coaches, I think he's probably played the wrong position, and that's why he hasn't been comfortable. So I think to see him now under a very solid, experienced coach, I think like I said, I'm excited to see how he develops. Time to come.
Yeah. Mate,
I haven't been this excited for a long time, Getting close to finals, mate. This is looking good.
Yeah, I love it. Well, mate, it's enjoyable. Hopefully we can get some momentum, get a few wins in a row and get ourselves into our home final and see how we go.
Well, beating the Eagles was the first taste of being, winning not in our home game. So I'm confident that we can get the job done next week.
Yeah, good on you. Thanks, Andrew.
Good on you, Tez. Catch you, mate.
See you, mate. Chris.
There you go, mate.
Mate, I'm good. I'm good today.
Football's easy, isn't it, mate? It's just easy scoring Carlton.
Yeah, we never really looked like we were going to lose the game. There was a little patch in that second quarter where I thought, all right, you've let them get a little too close. But I always felt that we were going to be 10 minutes away from blowing the game apart, and lo and behold, we were.
Yeah, I mean, it was just a good professional performance. That's just what I think. That's what has typified Carlton this year. They've been a very professional side. I think the media hasn't given them a lot of credit. I think we're we've really done really well. If you think about it, we've really managed games really well this year. I think people say, oh, we didn't smash teams, but it's about, it's not just about the 1 week. It's about the week on, week on, week on. So, but I think it's been really good this year.
Yeah. What else did you see today that maybe we haven't touched on yet? We've touched on Saad, touched on Setterfield. What else did you like?
Doherty as well. He just keeps going, man. It's incredible to watch, really. His ability to just keep going, and he gets in the right spots all the time, and he's just got a great ability of just getting it forward. And I think the boys they're very reassured. They're very assured when he has ball in hand, and I think that's really important and why he has been so key to us being good this year. He's played every game. Like, Jesus.
Well, him and Charlie, both of them have played every game. These are two guys that, I don't know, I think you and I might have sat here early or late last year thinking, will we ever see them play anywhere near their best, let alone play?
Yeah, mate, we're having I remember thinking, I'm like, there's no way Charlie will come back and be the player that he was or even better. Like, you just law of averages, you think, God, what this guy has been through. But the professionalism of him, Andrew Russell needs some credit, man. He has been, what he's done with some players this year. Charlie Curno's leading the Colemans. Sam Doherty's played every game at averaging 30. I mean, you got Tom DeConning's improvement. Like, every player has improved, like physically and mentally. Andrew Russell needs some credit, man. He copped a lot of shit for the past couple of years. I think, we got to swallow our pride and say this dude's done a brilliant job this year. Really has.
Mate, it's a good point. It's a seriously good point. No, I'm with you on that.
I mean, like, Marchbank's even back, mate. He's like, and when they come back, they actually look like, they're obviously a bit off, like, the week first, but they're not, like, apart from really Chera, like, they all come back and they're ready to, Chera a couple of weeks ago against St Kilda, but, they're ready to come back and they're really impacting the team. And that's it's been really good. And now it's the exciting time where, all that hard work we put in the first half of the year and this year's finally going to pay off in September. Finally.
It's hard to believe, mate. But we're going to September. We're going to be going to a final this year. It's going to happen.
I can't believe it, mate. It's been way too long, man. I think I had a flip phone the last time Carlton played in a final. That was one of those terrible. Whenever we had to text with the multiple button pushes and all that stuff. That's how long it's been. I mean, Jesus, I can't wait, mate. I absolutely can't wait.
No, spot on. Chris, it's been a pleasure, mate. Thanks for joining.
Take care, mate. Go the Blues.
See ya. Go Blues. Sayaf.
What's going on, bro?
Oh, mate. Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. Saad Camps, baby.
He just continues to be something else, right?
He's just so composed, so consistent, so reliable. Like, we got players like, when Doc's got the ball or Weeder's got the ball, but there's no one like, I don't think we have like that much trust in anyone. It was like to the extent we do with Saad. Just so reliable, man. So it's like we just trust him. And like you said, that's such a good point about finals. Finals come if he's got the ball. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, we're a team that haven't been there, so you've got to get as many players as possible that you can rely on. And I just got no doubt in my mind that he looks like he was born for a grand final. The way he plays.
But obviously he's not aging. Like, I think he's at the prime age, but he just keeps getting better.
Yeah.
Like, bro, what was that mark today? That was crazy, man.
Jumped off out of my seat, hands on head. I couldn't believe it.
I was standing. I don't know why no one else fucking my section was standing, bro. I gave him a standing ovation. How good was it when Walsh came back on, bro?
Man, I can't tell you, man.
For 5 minutes, Tess, I was on my phone. I wasn't even looking at the game. I was just trying to figure out what's going on with him.
Same.
And when he came back on, that was the loudest the crowd was today. Like, and that just goes to show how important he is to us and how much he means to the fan base.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, I had goosebumps. I had goosebumps when he was running out. Like, listening to the crowd, it was enormous.
Yeah, it felt like in years gone by that type of injury would have happened to us. And touch wood, I don't want to jinx anything, but it felt like because he was able to get through that Wiedering went down and was able to get through. Maybe, just maybe, this is a little bit of good luck that we need at this point in the year, because we've had a bit of bad luck. Everyone gets bad luck, and everyone gets good luck. And I'm hoping that this was one of those moments of the good luck that we need for this year.
No, spot on, bro. We've had a lot of injuries, man. We've had Cripps miss a game. We've had like COVID protocols, all that shit. We've had so many injuries, man. We've copped it, and if you go back to, I think it was after the Adelaide game or the North game, you were saying, well, we're halfway there, 12 wins, and we're here now. Now what? Look forward now, bro. It's massive, man. Like, it's crazy. I know it's GWS. Going into the game, we're going to win 100%. But the next 4 weeks, obviously important, but bro, we're playing finals. Like, I don't, it hasn't sunk in yet.
Yeah. And I can't remember who said it earlier, but the fact that we're going to play finals with an away game against Adelaide, who are tough, and they're going to bring it.
Yeah. Brisbane
over there, Melbourne at the MCG, Collingwood at the MCG, then it's finals. Mate, that's a tune-up. That's exactly what you
100%.
need.
That's what you need and what we want. I don't want to play easy teams, and I want to play the top. That's it, and we're playing them. Brisbane and Melbourne, no joke. Collingwood, no matter what, we could be 18th and they could be first. It'll always be a good game. It's a rivalry. I can't wait for that game, man, because we got to get them back.
Yep.
I still haven't forgotten how it felt like after that game. It was just a shit feeling. But just remember who we didn't have that night. And by 4 points, they're shit. They're getting all these close wins. I think Essendon have taken the lead now.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah,
Collingwood were up by 6 goals, bro, in the first quarter. They scored 6 goals to zip. Essendon then scored the next 8 of the 9 goals. So it's massive. Yeah,
wow.
I can't see Collingwood in the top 4. Fuck that.
No, it'll make me sick. Well, can those of you that are watching at home, can you please give me a score? Yeah, give me a score update. What's the situation?
Right now, 1 second.
It's the fucking Bombers abroad, mate. We're on the Essendon train today.
All right, boss. We got 67. Essendon plays Collingwood 53 with 18 in the last to go.
Great.
14 points. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm in the city, but I'm waiting for my brother because he's he's a Pie supporter. I'm waiting for him to pick him up, but I don't care. Honorable mention, bro. Plowman.
Yes.
Massive today. How good was he, man?
Mate,
how good was he?
Best game of the year. His best game of the year.
Very good, man. And there's still people fucking talking about him. I can hear him above me. My little brother, shout out to Rocco. He was sitting with Rocco, my little brother. Rocco took care of him today. And he's just saying Rocco was telling him all, shut up, all this shit. So, yeah, no, it was good, man. It was a good win. Obviously, we're going to get it. The first half was scrappy, wasn't it? Very scrappy, very messy. But it's just when Walsh came back on, it just turned everything around. It was just that momentum. Everything changed.
They needed some sort of a spark to get him going. And then, within 10 minutes of the fourth, bang, 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 game over. And that was it.
That's all we need, though, bro. We need 10, 15 minutes of solid footy. We win a game. That's how good our list is. That's how good our team is. What's your prediction for the next 4? What would you be happy with, content with? Obviously, I don't want you saying we're going to win the next 4, but would you say 2-2?
Yeah, I think 2-2. I think we can win 14 for the year. I think 14 wins after coming off, 8 last year, 7 or 8. I think before the season started, I was looking at 12 or 13. If we can get 13 or 14 for the year, mate, it's phenomenal. It really is. Phenomenal.
Like the goal, obviously, going into season was finals, right? We've pretty much ticked that off.
Yeah.
Now it's a matter of what is this team capable of. We're not expecting a flag, bro. Like, come on, let's be real. That's not the expectation. I just want to see what the boys got. But the next 2-3 years, man, we're in for some good times, good memories, man. But we just got to enjoy every week, every win, because we haven't had this before. And like you said, mate, in your preview, be grateful, enjoy every moment. That's all that matters.
100%. Nah, spot on. Well said, brother.
All right, man. You take it easy. Enjoy your night. Yeah, I'll speak to you soon, Tez.
For sure. See you, bro.
See you, brother.
Josh.
I'm just enjoying Essendon destroy Collingwood. Here we go, Drake Stringer. Oh, he's missed. Anyways, this isn't Essendon abroad, it's Blue abroad. So let's get to our game. Nate, I reckon that locks in finals, you think?
I think so.
So I remember last year, I think there was a press conference and it was when Luke Sayers took over the presidency and he's like, the expectation is we want to make finals. And there was an Instagram post. And I remember the amount of people clowning us, like saying this president's got no idea. It was they always had it in them, I reckon. We just needed the right leadership. obviously Chera Young and Hewitt have helped, but here we are a year later, and it looks like we're going to be playing in September, and it still hasn't hit me. I can't believe it, really. Like, I'm struggling to comprehend it.
I think you've touched on something that's very important there. And I think it was probably what I sense to be the reason why we were so worked up last year, or the last 2 years, but especially last year, was because we saw the talent. There aren't too many there's a couple of new guys in the team that played this year, but for the most part, it's all there. It's, and it was just their inability to play up to the expectations that we had of them, because we believed in them. We knew that all the pieces were there. But yeah, you're right. There were other things that needed to be put in place. At the end of the day, you're only as good as what the environment you're in allows you to be. And
Absolutely.
It just looks like we've put the right pieces, not only in the team, but outside the team, administration. And we're only really starting to see it. This is year one. This is year one of the next wave of whatever this is going to be. We're hoping it's going to be flags, but mate, it's so exciting.
Absolutely. And full credit to Luke Sayers, the way he's handled transitioning into presidency, holding accountability, getting Brian Cook over. That was the biggest, I reckon that was a huge move for us to bring in someone, coming from the Geelong dynasty, and then getting Vossi. And it was funny, I actually watched my Carlton People episode from last year just a few days ago, and I said I wanted Alistair Clarkson, but I love Michael Voss. And mate, he's full credit to Vossi, man. He's like turned around this club. Like, he's brought in some strong leadership, great assistant coaches, and I think, I don't know if I heard it here on the channel, but it was Zach Fisher. He mentioned the way Vossi revs them up. The boys feel like they're going to war, and mate, it's what an unbelievable achievement to turn such a basket case of a football club around that we were. And now, who knows? Come September, we'll have all these players back. Obviously, I don't expect us to win the flag, but the sky's the limit, really. Who knows what damage this group could do?
I've got to ask, if Marchbank's healthy and in the side, who comes out?
Yeah, I don't know. Plowman's been good. Everyone's been really good. I actually don't know. It's a tough call.
Yeah.
It just depends on the form.
If they're going to pick Marchbank next week, for example, Plowman would be a really stiff one to miss, because he probably played his best game of his season this year today.
Absolutely. Yeah, I don't know. That's what we want, though. We've got the depth now, mate. Last year, this wasn't happening. We knew who was going to be in who. The fact that we're having these conversations now shows that our depth has improved from here to all the way up there. This is remarkable compared to what we were used to.
Absolutely. So, anyway, mate, 12-6. We'll go to Adelaide next week.
That's it.
And we're not back in Melbourne until Melbourne at the MCG. So I guess I'll see you there.
That's it. Up the baggers, mate.
See you, mate. Sam.
Evening, Tez. It's really good to see how we're doing. There's only 3 words to explain, I reckon, the game, and that's our acceptance that not only 1 or 2 players has to be the person to step up. We're able to work as a team. We were pretty resilient. Obviously, Walsh going off the ground. Everyone thought that, he's going to be out for the rest of the season. But I reckon that's when the team thought that we have to play our role. We have to step up, and we were aware of the position that is at hand. So it was really good to see that. And tolerance, I think, was a big one, with Toby Green being a bit of an arsehole, giving all the players a bit of trouble. But yeah, it was really good to see, and hearing everyone else's opinions been really good. And it's all been pretty positive, nothing too negative around anything. I mean, the only thing that's pretty negative was Cherry's kicking in some places, but his kick to Kerno, I reckon it was, in the last quarter, solidified his spot as a solid game. And a lot of people on our team were able to achieve that solid game spot. And I'll obviously give the 3 votes to Saad, but I reckon one person who was able to step up in that last quarter and tear the Giants apart was Corey Durden. His goal was quite well, and I think it's something that hasn't been talked about enough in this past couple of hours.
Yeah, I think probably struggled a little bit, was a little quiet early, but small forward, you got to create your own you got to create your own luck, you got to create your own opportunities. So it was good to see him get on the scoreboard. Definitely got me on my feet. What do you think about the small forwards? Do we go in with 3 of them in finals, or maybe 2 or 1?
I reckon it comes down to who we play. If we have the Pies, I reckon we keep all 3 because I don't think their backline will be able to tolerate them with John Noble and those players. But if we're playing a team or an outfit like the D's, I reckon we might have to stick with 2 or even dropping Motts or Durden to, fit that defence. And Stephen May and all those people are pretty versatile. But, I reckon we go 2 wins, 1 loss and a draw in these final 4 games. And we go 14-7 and a draw, I believe, equal to our 2011 wins and losses for the season. So it'll be it's great to be on the show, Tez, and up the bags. Hope to get to Adelaide next week. Thank you.
Oh yeah, my man. Thanks for joining.
No problem.
Alrighty. Lucky last. Toby.
Okay, Tez, how are you, mate?
Mate, what did you think of that performance?
Mate, I'm very, very happy with that performance. It's, as we've been saying, 12-6. You little beauty.
Mate, 12 wins. A lot of us asked for 12 wins this year as the pass mark, or 11 or 12. We've hit it with 4 more games to go. And Toby, mate, better get ready because finals football is coming.
Terry, finals footy. And, Matt, I can tell you, can the freaking Blue Boys wait until we get into finals? We could tear this town apart, my friend. And if we do, I don't care. I want to come out and I want to meet everybody from Blue Broad because I will freaking party with you guys. And I'm serious. I'm very happy, Matt. Just starting to get the feeling that I've been waiting for this for a long time, Tez, as well, Matt. And those of us who've been waiting for this, let's enjoy it. Because we've got the signs that we're going to be freaking awesome in the next, maybe this year, maybe next year, but it's good signs coming for us.
Yeah, spot on. Who was your best on ground today?
My best on ground, I'm going to give it to Saad. I love Saad, and I must admit, thank you, the Jumper Punch boys, for starting the woof. I love it. I absolutely love it. How good is it? It's so good to have that back. Oh, my God. It reminds me of when I used to go, when I was a little boy, Terry, and you would hear it for
Ange Christou.
Ange Christou, yeah, for Christou. And you would just go, woof, and it was awesome. The woof is back, baby. Let's keep that woof. I love it.
Bloody oath. Good on you, Toby. Have a good afternoon, brother.
I will, mate. Go the Baggers.
He's a star. All right. That's the fan cams. Round 19. Just get in, do the job, get out, and it's all done. Good performance today. 6-goal win. Got our 12th win for the season with 4 more games to come. We're in a really good spot. We've got key players that have been coming back into the side, that will come back into the side. And then, the window of opportunity is starting to get really small just to get continuity in bodies for those guys that are coming back and then other guys to find form and consistency. And I guess also figure out what the structure looks like once all these, best 22 players are in the team. So it's exciting. I'm super excited for what's to come. I think like what Toby just said and what everyone else has been saying for the last hour or so is we've been waiting for this and it's here. So soak it up, enjoy it. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. I'll get the review out by the end of this evening. So be sure to tune into that, and we'll do it all again next week.